So today we're here with Danielle Tracey from Beaumaris. She's a senior women's head coach. We're going to learn a little bit about her coaching career, and we're going to look at female football in her eyes, and coaching female football more specifically. So Danielle, how did you get involved in football?
It was just a matter of when I was growing up, there was no younger girls around my street for me to hang out with. So I hung out with my twin brother, and he and all his friends like to play football. So it was either play football or do nothing. So didn't get into it the best way. I didn't like it at first, but yeah, from 6 years old up, any spare time I had, I was out kicking a ball with my brother and stuff. So, and after that, I just started to love the game. I would sit down and watch football, watch Celtic play with my dads and my brother, and yeah, absolutely fell in love with it. So yeah, not an interesting journey, but kind of forced into it somewhat. But it was happy to have done it, definitely.
Yeah. And what about your playing experience back home?
So again, most of the time when I played back home, it was just out in the street. Especially being in Scotland, it was mainly on gravel because it was raining all the time. The grass was awful.
Yeah.
But it was just literally street football.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I reckon I was about 9 or 10 that my mum's colleague's daughter asked me to go play for her team, East Kilbride Girls.
Yes.
So I went along there, and I was amazed at how professional it was. There was drills and everything. I was blown away. So I played for them for 2 years, and then my best mate Heather says she was going to go trial for Hamilton Accies.
Yep.
Their men's team's a professional team back home,
Mm-hmm.
so they had sort of like a professional setup sort of thing. And right away, walked up to the trials, absolutely amazing again.
Yeah.
And I stayed with them for 2 years. Didn't get much game time, but it was more so about sort of the development because we were trialing for a higher age group.
Yeah.
We got in, but again, it was mainly sort of sitting watching. But the things we did at training and everything was just unbelievable, and I learned so much just from such a short time playing there. So yeah, that was good. And then that came to an end when I moved to Australia in 2006.
Yeah. And how did you get involved into coaching?
Yeah, that's a bit interesting because my coach at Sandringham, I think it would have been 2014, 15 or something. He just says, look, you seem to know a lot about the game. Why don't you come along? He worked for the FFE. He says, why don't you come along and do some coaching courses that I run? So it was all the junior programs, game development, etc.
Yes.
He said, just come along. I'll be running it. See if you enjoy it, whatnot. So I went and completed 2 courses under him with the juniors.
Yes.
And then he got me to do a couple of summer clinics with him.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that was probably my first taste of coaching. I was very, very nervous, especially I was just like young boys as well. I felt so I'm not meant to be here, but that was my first actually taste of coaching, and I loved it. But nothing really ever came of that until one of my mates came up to me and says Beaumaris were really struggling to get some coaches in for their younger boys teams.
Yep.
And he says, are you wanting to coach an under 12 boys team? And again, so nervous, but I love football. I love everything about football. So I was like, yeah, look, get me in. So yeah, my very first team was a junior boys under 12s team at Boy, which was interesting.
Yeah. And how did you get involved into the women's side of the game at Beaumaris?
Yeah, it was quite slow actually. So my first season I did was with the under 12 boys, and then the next season, again, my mate came forward and says, we're struggling to get coaches. Are you able to coach 2 teams?
Yeah.
So I did the under 14 boys. Yeah, under 13 boys, they'd moved up an age group, same team. And then he said, I did the under 10 girls. Just they couldn't find a coach, and I thought,
why not?
Yeah, look, why not? Yeah, I love coaching, I love football. Why not? I'll take on the other team.
Yep.
I don't know if anyone's ever coached under 10 girls, but it's definitely a challenge. Very, very fun. But yeah, so that was probably my first taste of female football, which again I realised was, especially at such a young age group, was going to be a harder challenge than anything. Yeah, so that was my first taste of football.
Because the next part we're going to go into is looking at female football here and looking at a little bit like into coaching. Coaching women's football in Australia, what has been sort of your challenges and hurdles, and how did you overcome them?
It's that sort of thing. I don't want to sound like I'm saying everyone in football is sexist, but my biggest challenge was sort of people taking you seriously.
Yeah.
It wasn't until, especially my first year coaching, a couple of months into it,
yes,
when the parents started realising that I literally got up at 2 a.m. to watch soccer games, 4 a.m. You know, I actually know my stuff. That I think the parents really started like, okay, it's okay having a girl coaching our boys.
Yeah.
Because the boys all sort of warmed up to me in that, like, once we started talking about football in the first session. But it's always that sort of thing. Even like, I still get it nowadays. There's a couple of people I know in football.
Yeah.
Like, there's a guy I know that he won't have a girl coaching guys.
Wow.
He doesn't believe in that. Yeah. There's just so many things like that, and it's the same like every season. When a game's finished,
yeah,
coach always goes up and shakes my team manager's hand because he's a guy. Never shakes my hand. It's a joke in our team, but it's still that sort of bridge that we're trying to get over. Yeah,
I've heard that quite a few before. I've heard that from quite a few different female coaches. It's not just the first.
Yeah, no, I actually found it so funny because I got up next and I just shake the hands like, I'm coach. That was quite interesting. But it's the smaller hurdles you think. And again, even in like community football, there's still so many people in it that struggle to take sort of a female coach seriously, and that's probably the main thing. But like, I know what I'm talking about. I'm not like, I know, and I'm always happy to learn. So I just sort of blank it out a bit, but it is probably the biggest hurdle is trying to be taken seriously, because it's like a bit hard.
And was there any other challenges or anything else that you've sort of overcome that hasn't been mentioned at all, that hasn't been touched on by anyone else yet, or things that are personal to you rather than more general?
I knew you were going to ask this one.
Sorry?
I knew you were going to ask this one. Probably anyone that knows me, I'm extremely socially awkward and
I
know, right?
I'm finding it hard to believe. I mean, that's very.
I know. No, I do. For me, there's a bit of backstory to this. When I moved to Australia, I sort of struggled a lot with anxiety.
Wow.
I've got absolutely no confidence whatsoever.
Yeah.
So for me, coaching, it was, I was a quiet player on the pitch. And to go into coaching and be that person that people look up to, and you have to talk to not just the juniors and have time talks, it's you have to talk to the parents and everyone. Like, that's a lot more people than I'm normally willing to talk to. So it was that's probably the biggest hurdle that I've overcome, is talking to a lot more people and having the sort of belief in myself and in my drills and my team talks and everything. It's that sort of self-belief, like not to walk away in doubt what I've got plans and everything. Because the first couple of seasons, I would spend about 2 hours writing out drills because I was like, nah, that's wrong, that's not good, no, that's yes. That whole sort of side, like, and to be fair, like, coaching and that has made me more confident in other aspects of my life as well. So it's really actually helped overcome that sort of anxiety that I've always had. So